Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a concept called reification.
Hmm.
It sounds a bit academic, maybe, but it's really about how we sometimes turn human stuff, relationships, feelings, even actions into objects.
Right, almost like things. It actually comes from the Latin word res, which means thing.
Exactly. And a key figure here is Georg Lukács. He wrote this influential book back in 1923.
History and class consciousness.
That's the one. And he argued that capitalism sort of pushes us to see our social world like this.
Yeah, like dealing with impersonal mechanisms instead of people. And
Yeah.
this can make us feel, well, alienated, disconnected.
Precisely. So our mission today is to unpack this, make it less abstract, and see how this thingification maybe shows up in our lives.
Okay, so where do we start? What are the key features?
Well, first, there's the idea of the human becoming object.
Right, so like your skills or even your emotions, they get treated as things you can buy, sell, or use.
Yeah, separate from the whole person. Then there's process becoming product. Think about something dynamic, like, say, learning.
And it gets boiled down to just the certificate you get at the end.
Exactly. Or maybe love becoming, I don't know, a checklist of relationship milestones.
Okay, I see. And the third one?
Social relations becoming thing-like. So interactions become less about genuine connection and more about
Exchange. Like, what can I get out of this relationship?
kind of, it's depersonalized.
The classic example Lukács used was the factory worker, right?
Yes. Under certain conditions, the worker isn't seen as a creative person, but more like a part of the machine.
It's just a hand on the assembly line. Their specific human input, their creativity, isn't really what's being bought.
It's their labor power, treated as a commodity, and the thing they make feels foreign to them, owned by someone else.
So the worker themselves becomes sort of manageable, quantifiable, an object to be optimized for efficiency.
Right, and it's fascinating and maybe a bit unsettling how this same basic logic seems to pop up in really modern contexts, too.
Like dating apps. Tinder, for
Oh,
example.
absolutely. People become profiles, right? Photos, a quick bio, swipeable data points.
It's like the complex, messy business of human connection gets turned into a kind of game. You're evaluating people almost like products.
Yeah, are they swipe worthy? And maybe we start evaluating ourselves that way too. Am I marketable enough?
It shifts the focus. Then there's emotional labor.
Ah, yes. Like the barista who has to be cheerful and empathetic, even if they're having a terrible day.
Exactly. That smile, that friendly attitude, it's part of the job description. It's part of the product being sold.
Your actual feelings don't matter as much as the performance of the right feeling.
And it gets standardized, maybe even rated with customer satisfaction scores.
Yeah.
Human emotion turned into a measurable service component.
What about social media influencers? That seems relevant here too.
Definitely. Personal life, birthdays, holidays, even grief sometimes can become content.
Crafted, edited, optimized.
Right? Optimized for engagement, for likes, for brand deals. The line between just being and performing for the market gets really blurry.
It's like their authentic experiences are reified into marketable assets.
And education. You mentioned learning becoming a product earlier.
Yeah, the whole process of gaining knowledge can sometimes feel secondary to just getting the credential.
The degree, the certificate. Students might even think, well, I paid my tuition, now give me my degree. Like a transaction.
The learning journey itself, the curiosity, the struggle, the discovery gets kind of overshadowed by the final thing, the grade or the PDF diploma.
So if we pull back and look at the consequences, what does all this thingification lead to?
Well, Lukács talked a lot about alienation, feeling disconnected.
Disconnected from your work, like the factory worker, or maybe even from your own emotions, like with emotional labor, or from other people.
Yeah, relationships can become instrumental. We start judging people and maybe ourselves based on usefulness rather than, their intrinsic worth.
It kind of flattens the richness of human experience, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everything gets measured or valued in terms of its utility or exchange value.
Which is basically Lukács' core point about how capitalism can shape our perception. We start seeing the world, including humans, primarily through this economic lens.
So it's not just an economic system, it's a way of seeing.
Exactly. A way of perceiving that turns human qualities and connections into, well, things.
So maybe a final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
Where do you see this happening?
Right. Think about your own life, your job, your relationships, how you pursue hobbies, even how you use social media.
Are there places where maybe human elements are being treated more like objects or commodities?
Where the focus shifts to utility or exchange value over inherent worth or genuine connection, what might be the effects of that?
It's definitely something to mull over.
It is. Food for thought. Thanks for exploring this with us today.